Hello there. Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, a stand-up comedy and lifestyle podcast based in Greenville, South Carolina, where we talk to comics and other guests. My name's David Bakker. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. It's the week of November 8th, 2021. And yeah, we have a good show for you today. Before we start that, though, I wanted to shout out my birthday gift because I got super excited about this. It was my birthday last week, and my parents sent me Seinfeld Legos. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. But I'm really proud of this because it took me forever to put together, and it was a real pain. But Seinfeld's my favorite show ever. And if you're looking here, you can see how detailed and cool this little replica of Jerry's apartment is. We got Jerry doing stand-up in front of a brick wall at a nightclub. Got George and Elaine in the apartment, Newman in the doorway. Yeah, really cool stuff. I haven't played Legos literally since elementary school, and it takes you right back. When you have the Legos in front of you, you have those instructions, and you kind of see it come together. I was literally up till like 3 a.m. last week finishing this thing. So, I mean, I don't really know what you do with Legos. Like, once they're put together, you kind of just look at it and tell people about it. Like this. Kind of annoying probably to you guys, but I don't know. I like it, and I'm proud of it. Even though anybody could have done it, and it doesn't really take a lot of talent, I think it's cool. There's something about it. Maybe you have to have that nerd gene or whatever. But anyway, we do have a great week of comedy. We're getting into the winter months, and I'm very excited about our guest today. My guest today is Chris Wilson. Chris started stand-up probably about 5 months ago, and he is already well on his way. Couple things about Chris before we get into the interview. He is one of the most supportive, gracious, sentimental guys about stand-up. I mean, he posted a post on Facebook last night, actually, about how he is so grateful for the community and what stand-up's given him, because he wrestled with depression and not having a lot of purpose in his life prior to stand-up. I definitely relate to that. I feel like I wasn't super depressed before doing stand-up, but I had a void for sure, and stand-up has definitely filled that. So yeah, he just loves it, and he's hilarious. A lot of his material is about stories, or stories from his personal life. He and his family run a bar. They recently closed it down, but yeah, he a lot of personal stories, a lot of stuff that you can tell is just authentic and true to him, and he's a savagely funny joke writer. So seriously, for only doing it 5 months, I mean, Chris is hilarious, really interesting guy, and I think you'll enjoy our conversation. Before we get into that conversation, though, here is what's happening in local comedy the week of November 8th, 2021. So to start, we have our usual open mics beginning at Coffee Underground tonight, downtown Greenville, hosted by No Expectations Comedy, Craig Holcomb. Get there a little bit before 7. Mic starts at 7. Following that, we have All Jokes Aside, hosted by Dante Anderson at Habiba's, a Mediterranean restaurant off of Haywood Road. This begins at around 8:30. We also have an online sign-up now, so you can go online on their Facebook page and sign up. And I think we're going to be doing some contests again this month, or tonight. Tuesday at Doolittle's, we have in Anderson, South Carolina, hosted by Robin Scott, Electric City Comedy. That starts at 7 o'clock. Get there at 7. Starts usually about 7:30. We have an open mic followed by a feature comedian, Allison Rose from New York City. So come on out and see her. On Wednesday, we have the open mic at the Radio Room hosted by Adam Schulte. Starts at 8 o'clock. No cover. Sign up ahead of time with Adam or get there and see if you can get on the list. On Thursday, in West Pelzer, there's a show at the Lincoln Tap Room. This show starts at 6:30, hosted by Peachy Tom Emmons, featuring Tommy Donovan, Jeff Thompson, and David Zasloff. Should be a very fun show on Thursday night. And Thursday, a little later at 8 o'clock, we have our Jokes Out Loud show, the spotlight show at Comedy Zone. $10 cover. Get there before 8. That show's continuing to improve in terms of audience member turnout. We had a big crowd last Thursday. So please come out. I'll be performing on Thursday. And I'll be at all these other mics too. But yeah, please come out. Catch the comics you've seen on the show, and we appreciate the support. All right, that's it for local comedy. Hope you enjoy our interview with my interview with Chris. Here it is. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah, Chris, you're a talker, man.
I'm
excited to have you.
Oh boy, I hope it's good.
I think it'll be fine.
We can edit it.
Well, no, I'm not editing it.
We can.
This is straight raw, dude. Straight up. And yeah, thanks for coming, dude. I'm excited.
This is cool.
And I'm glad you're impressed that I have hand soap in my bathroom.
Yes. You don't know how many places I go and use the restroom, and I'm like, I have to wash my hands. And you look around.
Where are you going where they don't have hand soap?
I don't know. Nobody does. And like, I knew one person that had like the Darth Vader thing, the hand sanitizer thing, and I push it, nothing comes out.
What are you talking about, Darth Vader? What do you mean?
It was Darth Vader hand sanitizer, like hand soap dispenser.
Okay, so it was...
And it was empty. And then you got to look in the bathroom and look at that questionable bar of soap that don't nobody want to touch.
Right.
It's brutal. So I appreciate you.
Well, you run a bar, or, well, temporarily.
Right, yeah.
But did you get hand soap at your bar?
Yeah, when they didn't rip it off the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like your bar, man.
Yeah.
And there might be a story. I don't know how much you can say, but there was a bar like that you ran a mic out of for a while.
At the Pub Food and Spirits, and now unfortunately it's gone. We wrapped that up, but it was fun. And thanks for coming, because you came a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I got to wear the cow suit, which was cool.
Yes.
I wish we should have talked about this. I'll come back in the cow suit.
Well, it's weird because we're filming this pretty close to Halloween, but you wore a cow suit, just random, just for...
Yes. The guy I do, another comedian, Luke Furlow.
Uh-huh.
And
Luke Wilson?
Who?
We know. What's
That's the actor.
That's his...
Yeah, the actor...
Your name is Chris Wilson.
Yes.
Wait, what is Luke's actual last name?
Harris.
Luke Harris, that's right.
Luke Wilson will not do the podcast with me.
No, not yet.
Or come to my open mic.
Well, yeah, I mean, he won't do either of our podcasts.
No. Wow, yeah.
But,
That'd be cool if he did.
Yeah, he just needs to like fall off on the celebrity totem pole a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gotten a lot of good gigs lately, but maybe we could...
Yeah, like it's kind of like women need to lower their standards and date me. He needs to lower his standards to be on the podcast.
Okay.
I mean, mine's not fancy. I don't have lights.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've got a bedroom light.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a fan attached to it.
I like these lights because they make me feel fancy.
This is professional. Like I don't even want to look over here.
Not really. We're faking it.
Faking it
until we make it.
Yeah.
It's filming on an iPhone on a tripod, which you thought you were.
I thought you had like a Canon camera.
No.
Well, dude, look. Okay, all I have is a Yeti microphone.
Yetis are good.
You just have this here for decoration.
Well, I just didn't want to return it, but I bought the Yeti first because I thought that's a USB mic, so you can just plug in the cord to the laptop and record directly. But I found out for interviews or like having multiple whatever, I don't even know the lingo. But you need one of these interfaces, one of these.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are fancy.
Free advertising for these people, but it's a Focusrite interface, and you can just plug in these. What do you call these mics?
Auxiliary
mics.
Yeah,
just like the same mic you would use on stage.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I think stand-up comedy is like 50% being funny, 50% liking to hold microphones, and I can't sing. So that's,
50% being funny, 50% what? The equipment?
Holding the microphone. Yeah, I do it just to entertain myself. I feel important with this.
Yeah.
It gives me courage.
It gives you, yeah.
Like I'm going to ask out women with this.
So you wouldn't ask out women normally?
Well, they won't listen.
Oh.
But if I get me one of these amplifiers in your laptop and we go around downtown, I'll just start picking up women.
You ever asked out women on stage?
No. I'm glad people don't talk to me when I'm on stage.
Yeah. It's a little distracting.
Yeah, and I've been in some places,
Sure.
so I'm glad some of them don't talk to me. But no, has that happened to you?
No, but I sometimes I have a lot of material about dating and stuff. So like when I say I'm single, sometimes I think it's a funny thing to it's a little crowd work gimmick. It's kind of hacky, but I just say, well, are there any single women here? And normally nobody says anything. And then the silence, sometimes the audience will laugh in reaction to their own silence. And sometimes somebody will speak up and I'll say something to them. It's just a fun little thing, but I've never seriously asked a girl out on stage.
Like I said, I'll just, how PG do, I know you got to put this on.
Care.
Oh, cool. Well, okay.
You can be as filthy as
there
you
was
want.
one girl that I know, and I was just like, she was like, I'm going to come see you. And I'm like, no, you better not sit in the front, because I'll start talking to you.
Uh-huh.
And then I just looked at her and I was like, hey, let's pee on each other.
Oh my God.
Now, that was a joke. Nothing I would ever say.
What did she do? How did she react?
She laughed so hard she had to go out the front door. Because last time that she saw me do stand-up, she said, Chris, you made me pee on myself. I felt bad about it, but funny's funny, I guess.
So she said that earlier at a different show, and then you said, you know what?
Let's pee on each other.
Because you peed yourself last time.
Yeah,
like
and
that. That's a funny little joke.
She got up and ran out the door laughing, and I'm like, okay, I've achieved my goal for the evening. I don't even care what happens later.
Yeah. Well, it takes a special kind of thing for that to work and not come across creepy.
It does. I think I'm just cute enough to get away with it.
You threaded the needle for sure, dude.
Just a little, yeah. Bam.
Yeah, because if they think you're serious or in like sort of then it could go haywire. But no, that works. And yeah, dude, every time I see you on stage, like whatever you say works.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just like, but it's so strange. This is actually one of my jokes. Like I could sit here and talk about, for example, like having the smallest genitals in the room. That there's something crazy. Stuff that makes you just
self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah.
'Cause that's comedy to me. And I can say that, but if you take this thing away, I can't say nothing. It's weird. It's like I feel empowered by this thing.
No, that's great. That's great. And it's not all self-deprecation. Like you go after stuff. You talk about, crazy stories and crazy...
Right. Yeah. The thing is, like, I've had so many crazy stories happen to me and these things that even I myself do not believe, but I saw it happen. And it used to be like, I used to just could literally walk out of the gas station. Like for example, one time I went to the QT,
QT stories are
never.
good.
Yeah. They're so good.
You see a lot of characters at the QT.
You do. And my mom raised me to be a gentleman and hold open the door. And I saw this kid, or so I thought. But then I started thinking, man, it's 5 a.m. What would a child be doing? I had the backpack.
How old?
Well, she was 30 something. But here's the thing. I thought she was like a kid because she had this backpack and this massive like plush unicorn hanging out the top, right? Like I'm like, okay, this has got to be a kid. And,
a unicorn?
A
unicorn
giant
hat?
Plush, no, it was like a massive plush unicorn.
Like a stuffed animal?
Yeah, just hanging out the top of it. And it was just bizarre.
Out of her backpack, okay.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe this is somebody's kid. Maybe they're going on a trip. And so she comes to the door. I open the door. Pardon me, ma'am. And I step out of the way. Could you hold open the door for a lady? And she goes, excuse me. And she bends down and picks up this giant machete. And I'm like, huh.
She had a machete in her backpack?
It was in the floor of the QT. So
was it hers?
I would hope.
Yeah.
But this wasn't just your regular like Walmart Ozark Trail. This was like I decapitate people machete. Like it was probably like that, and it had the holes in the blade. So I start freaking out. But I'm still being a gentleman, and I'm holding open the door. But like, man, my beehole goes. Boom. And she goes, excuse me, and she walks out the door. And I just go, holy shit, thank you for not stabbing me. You know, and I go in the QT and I ask the clerk, I said, was that a machete? He goes, yeah. And I'm like,
Did he know her? Who is this chick?
yes. Because he goes, yeah, that's 9-iron. And I said, why do they call her 9-iron? He goes, she carries a golf club. And I said, man, this bitch is upgraded.
Dude.
So that's just one thing that's happened to
So
me.
was she a homeless woman? What was the story?
I don't know. I would assume, but she was dressed some, like, she had decent clothes on, you know, nice clothes. They weren't
And
dirty.
she looked young.
Yeah,
for
well,
30,
granted,
like
I
she
didn't
wasn't-
get a real big look at her face because I was just like, is that a unicorn?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's like, is that a machete? Danger, you know? And, but here I am holding the door open still, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, she could have chopped your head right off.
right.
Chris.
And so she, and I'm like, and I don't live far from a QT. I live like down the road. And I'm like,
Right.
I got to go get my cats, you know, put them in the house.
Yeah.
And on the way home, we see her walking down the road, just casually swinging it like a walking cane. And I'm like, nobody's going
And
to
it
fuck
was
with
definitely
this
was a real
lady.
machete, not a toy.
100% real.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, granted, nobody's going to mess with you walking down the
Yeah.
road with a machete, but
Yeah.
that's the point of the QT. Like, and I used to go, God, why does this stuff happen to me? But now since I started doing stand up, I'm like, all right.
Now you like want more shit to
I'll
happen.
write it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now you
like,
want more stuff.
this is gonna kill.
Yeah, I could use that on stage, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't trust myself with weapons.
No, I don't either.
I don't own a gun or anything.
No,
Um,
I have this face that deters most women. So if I ever get attacked by a
Don't
woman,
quit
I'm
doing
just
that
joking. I'm a comedian.
I know.
I think.
I know. But
I think.
I don't like the woe is me, Chris.
I'm just joking.
I know.
Just joking.
But you don't have like a personal anything. Protect yourself.
Well, not really.
Gun wise, you're not like Adam Schulte.
Oh,
Adam Schulte is a very
dude.
gun oriented.
Hey, Adam, I'm on a podcast. Look at me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam watches every week.
Yeah,
so.
dude.
And he likes shout outs.
I love Adam. If you heard our first podcast, 90% of it was talking about Adam and guns.
Hell yeah. So this is okay. So before we go any further, we can promote your podcast. So this is you and Furlough's podcast,
Yes.
the first one. Okay. And remind me the name of it.
The Dress to Depress podcast.
The Dress to Depress podcast.
Right.
And Luke Furlough
Harris.
Harris.
Yep.
I was going to say Wilson again.
That's okay.
Yeah, and that's your last name, Chris. So yeah, dude, that's awesome. So your first episode, you had a lot of Adam Schulte shout outs.
Well, dude, the thing is, when I did, God, I hate this to start the story this way because I've said it a million times. Like 8 years or so ago, I did stand up at Coffee Underground.
Yep.
And it went great. I went way over my time.
No, this is your first time, right?
like very first.
Yeah, don't rush through this because I like to hear
Cool.
people's first
Good,
time. So
good.
yeah, and most people listening now.
It was like, it was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And well, here's what happened. For
Who was hosting them? Was it Craig?
I don't remember, but he was there.
Okay.
I can actually tell you. Well, first, let me tell you the first time I went, and then let me get to that.
Sure.
My cousin, who still supports me to this day, she said, "You should go do stand up," and I'm like, "No, I'm terrified of speaking in front of people."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was the guy in class shaking with the paper, you know, and
Right.
and so you could literally have offered me $1,000 and I would have said no.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, we'll go up there and just try. And I said, okay.
Your cousin said this?
Yeah, I said, I'll go if you go.
Did she explain anything? Did she say why? She just thought, oh, your funny stories? Or
Yeah, well, she goes, Chris, you have all these funny stories and you're funny. And so many people were like, be a comedian. And the funny thing is, when I was in high school, I took one of those career tests, you know, and I got 3 results back, and they couldn't be any sweeter. The first one was comedian. That makes me laugh now.
Yeah.
The second one was plumber,
Yeah.
right?
Dude, you could be a plumber.
I could be a plumber.
Hell yeah. My grandfather was a plumber.
See?
You got a similar vibe. Like I would trust you with, you know, handling yourself around tools And
You do not know me that well.
well, I guess, but I can't do anything like that. But he was very.
Oh yeah,
he rocked a beard too.
I wish.
Very handy.
It's like like you always have an uncle or a grandpa or somebody that can do anything.
Right.
They can fix anything.
Sure, that's my dad and my grandpa.
Yeah,
not
I'm
me.
not that guy. Like,
Okay.
if I break something, I'm like, I'm going to buy a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Chris, you broke the wall.
Right.
Can you buy new ones?
Right.
You know.
So what was the third one? You said
Rabbi. Sure.
Why would they say that? Are you Jewish?
No, not at all.
What career test was this where they're like, well, you could be
It was just the one they gave me in high
you could
school.
be a Jewish religious teacher?
Yeah, I could be a Jewish plumbing comedian.
That'd be hilarious, actually.
I know. Yeah, if I opened up a plumbing business, it would just say, I take no shit.
Yeah, you're like Mario, but a Jew. Jewish Mario.
Jewish Mario, yeah.
With the little, except with instead of the Italian redhead, it'd be like a little yarmulke. You could rock that.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should get together.
I'm the result of my high school test. He's dressed as Mario for Halloween or something.
See, yeah, maybe I should get with Mr. David Zasloff or my other favorite Jew, Mr. Adam Schulte.
Yeah, exactly.
Get with them and start a business.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my cousin was just pushing me to do this comedy thing because she said, Chris, I think you'll be good at it. And I'm like, no, not at all. And she said, well, let's go. And at the time, years ago, you had to sign up on Facebook, which is wild because now they just do the you're there. And I didn't know that. So I get there and they're like, oh, you got to sign up, on Facebook. And I said, well, okay, we'll sit and watch the show. Mm-hmm. Now, this was interesting. Craig was there. I remember Craig, and I remember Craig Holcomb and Colin Keene. I remember them being there.
Shout out Colin, dude.
I love Colin.
Yeah.
The fact that he can juggle, it blows my mind.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And
Colin's hilarious.
He is. He's a nice guy,
and
too.
Very insightful. Well, continuing talking.
Yeah, and Craig, I can even, and who else do I remember? Craig Longino.
Yes, I remember.
The guy with the crazy overshirts.
He has the joke about the Troops bumper sticker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I won't spoil the joke. But
I won't
hilarious.
either. And I remember he did his
savage.
I remember he did his Goodwill shirt joke, and that still cracks me up to this day.
Yeah.
But
okay, so all these guys we know are there. Okay.
Yeah, and what gets me is the reason why Craig stuck out is because he grabbed the microphone stand with the mic on it and just put it over there, and he just starts yelling and just without screaming,
the mic.
but
yeah.
And all I remember is him talking about a pharmacy, and it cracked me up. But I will tell you this: so I see a lot, and there was a good few people there, and golly, we watched it, and I hate to say, and I won't say the joke because it's just inappropriate and it's not funny, but the first guy that came up, couldn't tell you who he was. He told the most racist black joke ever. He just started off with da 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 da, and everybody's like,
yeah, bad move.
The white people are like, the black people are like, and he just goes, all right, thanks, and he walks off.
So that was all he did.
That's all he
did.
did.
Stay on for that long?
No, well. Even I'm like, I like to push things just a little,
right?
But it's such a poor taste joke.
Yeah.
And even if you are okay with that kind of humor, it wasn't funny.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, don't be racist. That's my mark right there. Don't do what this guy did.
Sure.
And I watched everybody else. I don't recall, but just the people we know. And the very last lady, I don't know who she was, but she was talking with a British accent. I do remember that. And she, God bless her, was tanked. She was
she was hammered, or she tanked her set?
She was both. She was hammered. Right? I mean, like MC hammered, okay? She's slumped over in the chair, and she's like, and she passed out mid-joke. And I'm like, I don't remember who was host. Actually, I remember the guy that was hosting. I don't recall his name. He was very nice. He had been in a movie with Jamie Foxx. That's all I remember.
Okay.
And he kind of got her off the stage. Like, hey,
She
thank
fell
you.
asleep during the set?
She passed out.
I've never seen that before.
And literally, it's like, hey, thanks for coming. Y'all have a good night. And that's how the show ended. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, don't do racist things.
Don't fall asleep.
Don't fall asleep. If you hit anywhere in between,
Yeah.
you're fine. So anyway, and I asked the guy, I said, dude, is she okay? And he's like, bro, she's from here. She's not British. I don't know what that was about. So that was my first experience. So I came.
So you just observed that night?
I just observed. And I came back the next week. And I mean, I was like terrified. You know, Coffee Underground, which, you know, in Greenville here in South Carolina, right across the street from Trios. We went and ate at Trios, and I had one beer. I think I had tomato soup, which is two of the best things to put together.
That's a good Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Trios downtown Greenville.
I left my dinner in the bathroom, you know.
You threw up?
I did. Because I was like this. And I'll never forget it because the night before, I did not sleep. I was just trying to, I was like, I got to be funny in front of people I don't know. And I watched a lot of Reggie Watts. He's one of my favorite he's a musical comedian, but I like him.
Okay, I don't even know Reggie Watts. I need to look him up.
He's got the giant fro, and he plays the loop machine. Have you've never seen him?
No, I'll check him out.
Oh, he's fabulous.
Okay.
He's wild. He's so talented. It's like, wow. It's like you almost forget you're at a comedy thing and you're watching a musical performance. I watched a lot of that, and I remember I had like a whole page of jokes, and my Mima, who I love dearly, and I need to call soon and talk to her. She's always been my rock, you know, like I'm her baby. I can do no wrong. I'm her grandbaby. And she totally dropped the ball. Right.
How so?
She looked at me because she's like, what are you doing? I said, Grandma, I'm going to go do stand-up comedy downtown. And she goes, baby, you're not going to do good. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Your grandma didn't believe in you?
Not this day. She goes like, you're going to do bad, baby. And I'm like,
she said you're going to do bad.
I'm like, why would you say that? Because I'm over here like, you know, I feel like I'm fixing to go to my execution.
Yeah.
And she goes, you going to do bad? I said, why would you say that to me, Mom? You know,
God.
And she goes, well, you're going to get nervous and you're going to freeze up. And I'm like, why would you tell me this right now? And then she goes, they're all going to look at you and laugh at you. And I said, that part's actually what I want. But I said, way to drop the ball, you know.
Yeah.
So she was no help.
Yeah.
And,
dude, that's so funny.
Oh, dude, it was so brutal. Because she'll support me. I could be like, hey, I want to be an astronaut. Nobody's going to put my fat, almost 40-year-old ass in a space shuttle. But she'd be like, Chris, you can do it, but not this.
Not stand up? He's like,
she was just like,
you can do anything you want, Chris.
Well,
except stand up comedy. Don't try that.
Yeah, but like, and she's like the most supportive person in the world. But this time she was just trying to be real. She's like, you're going to suck. You're going to suck hard.
That's funny.
And I said, well, I'm not talking to you anymore about these things. And
so you left the house after she said that, and then you went to the Italian place?
Not just yet. We had to make a stop because I can't even remember who it was, but somebody was getting married, and the guys that were taking me had to get fitted for tuxes. So we had to go sit there. So I'm sitting there looking at this material, and my friend goes, hey, you got, you know, what was it? I think they told me I had 5 minutes. So I'm timing everything, and I'm literally going da 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 da, and it's so strange because it's, you know how some people time out their jokes, and I think that works great.
I do.
You do?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know how to work the stopwatch on this Casio. So
I record it on my phone.
Me. I do too.
So I know like when it's about to be done.
Right. Well, it's good because like you go, okay, well I have, like say you're doing a show, you're like I got 20 minutes. Well, this takes 5 minutes. This takes 3. And you can safely, build some time around that. I got that advice from a lot of people. Tom Edmonds, who is peachytom.com.
I don't think if he watches this, but yeah,
Well, it's
Peachy
okay.
Tom.
Well, Tom, I like Tom. He's a real nice
I
guy.
love Tom. He just made fun of me about starting the podcast, but it's fine. Go ahead. Peachy Tom gave the advice about the time.
Yeah, and so did who else did that? The time thing. Adam Schulte did. Adam's actually been a big help, and I'll talk about that later. But so yeah, I do that now because I will ramble, and sometimes I'll say something, and I think it was Cassandra, and she was like, "That was funny," and I'm like, "What'd I say?" Thank goodness she remembered.
Do you record it?
I do now. I bought an app that does like the MP3 thing.
Oh, you record video.
I do sometimes. I quit doing that because I basically, like, people like, Chris, we want to come see you. Well, if you saw this video, you're probably going to see most of it again.
Oh, I don't repost it. You record it for yourself.
Well, I kind of, like, I'll post it for some people because I've got some friends that live, like, in, like Ohio. They're not going to be able to make it down.
Right.
So
I'm just saying the purpose of recording for me is just to have that video, like to see if you did something accidentally and it got a laugh, then you could be like, oh, shit, what did I do?
Yeah, that's why I record the audio.
With my hand there that I didn't expect. Maybe if I did that again and see.
Yeah, well, like Cassandra Jane. I'm trying to remember everybody's names.
Oh, yeah, Cassandra, yeah.
I love her. She's very sweet, very supportive. She remembered what I had said, and she goes, "You should do that again." And then I'm like, "Okay, now I got to record this." But anyway, that was a whole big segue. So back to that other story. They were getting fitted for their tuxes, and I was trying to go, okay, well, this is about this much time. Cool. And my one friend goes, "These ain't going to work." I said, "What ain't going to work?" He goes, "This one, not going to work. This one, not going to work."
Your network is assholes.
Well,
your gravity doesn't believe in you. Your friend is like, this is
on this day.
F everybody else. Just try shit.
Well, on this day, it was just negative. And I kid you not, they literally said, none of these are going to work. And I'm like, fuck that. This is what they're going to get. Because I stayed up all night doing this.
Yeah.
And
you can overthink it to death. You'll never do it.
I did.
So you're better off just going for it.
Then we got there. And I swear I'm not making this up. If my memory serves me correctly. You know how they got all the little chairs in there? I want to say there used to be little mini church pews in there.
Yeah. It's similar. They have they're like cloth covered chairs that are almost interlocking, and they have them at churches sometimes. It's not like a pew, but it feels like it because you can't move them. They're not like the radio room chairs.
Well, that could just be a mental thing that maybe I'm forgetting about.
But they're similar. They might be the same.
And I want to swear they had a light back there, like a bar light, like one of those kind of lights for get off the stage.
Yeah.
And I want to swear it was broken.
Okay.
Says okay. And I get there, and it's packed in there. Like, it's packed.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of comedians there. I remember I got there, and I will tell you this because it makes me laugh. I don't know who these guys are. If I would meet them today, I couldn't tell you. But I was trying to be friendly, I signed up, and I just, "Hello, I'm Chris. Nice to meet you." The host guy was nice. I wish I could remember his name. Craig he's never not nice. Colin, the people we know are always cool.
Yep.
And but I talked to these random dudes, and I'm, "Hey, I'm Chris," and they literally just turned their chairs around when I spoke to them, and I'm like, "Ooh, okay."
Comics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, no problem." So I go up there, and then I'm like, "I'm fixing to leave. I can't do this. This is..."
As soon as you got up there?
Yeah, this is terrifying. I'm out of here, right? And so my friend goes, "I'll take care of this." And he come back with Grand Marnier liquor. It's okay. He goes, "Drink that." And I go, yeah, gonna need another one. Give me another. Drink that. I'm gonna need another one. I don't have a high alcohol tolerance. So I drank like 4 or 5 of those.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, and God bless my friends. I had like 2 rows of friends show up that I didn't know about, which is cool. And my cousin came, and I was like, "Oh,
nice,
wow."
Nice.
And the whole 5-minute thing, and they go, "Oh, hey, you got 3 minutes." And I'm like, "What? 3 minutes?" And then I'm like,
That's a safety net for new people.
That is.
Typically, it's a good thing.
yeah, you usually start with 3, then you get 5 if you get used to it.
Chances are it's not going to go that great. So
Well, here's
yeah.
here's the crazy thing. So they tell me I'm going to have less time, and I'm like, oh, because I had, at least I think I could have stretched these jokes out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go up there because they go, you're number 3, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big list, and I'm like, all right. And I go up there, and it was good. It was great. Like, people were laughing.
Mm-hmm.
At least on stage, it looked great. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
From the other perspective, there is a video of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. I had long hair. It's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over my time because I couldn't see the little
They
cell
were waving
phone.
the light at you?
Yeah, they were waving the light at me. I did like 7 minutes, and I'm like,
Oh, that's bad.
That is bad.
Yeah.
That's good for me, not good for everybody
It's bad
else.
for the show.
It's bad for the
Generally
show.
burning the light, yeah.
Right.
That's,
And
that's
the
not
thing
good.
is, like, I could only see, you know how it works in there. You can only see the first like
couple of rows, yeah.
But I don't know what was
They
going on.
They don't have music there to play you off. Most places they'll play music to let you know if you
Right.
really go over.
Mhm.
But yeah, Coffee Underground they don't have music.
No.
So you just how did you eventually get to get off?
Well, finally,
Did you
here's
run
the
out of
thing.
your jokes?
No, I spent the whole time doing this. I didn't even look up at. I didn't even look.
Uh-huh.
Like after a minute, I just looked down at the ground. I'm like, I'm just gonna look down at the ground.
Yeah, for those of you
because-
just watching on audio, Chris is leaning forward and
yes,
looking down.
yeah. I want to make people feel it. Like, hey, ooh, there's a quarter down there. That's how I was doing. Like, I wasn't gonna look up because I'm terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I look up and I see this, and I was like, "Oh, my bad," you know. And I got off the stage, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm about to," you know. I thought I was about to get my ass chewed, and the host guy come up and he goes, "Man, you did good." And I said, "Oh, thanks." You know, I mean, it ain't like I blew the place away,
Mm-hmm.
but people were laughing.
Yeah, people laugh the whole time.
Mhm.
It's not that. It's if you're bombing and you burn the light, that's really not good. But
Well, I definitely didn't bomb.
that's good. That's good.
I was thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And and it was so good, like I could have stayed up there 20 more minutes, or at least that's what I felt like,
Yeah.
because I was drunk, you know.
Uh-huh.
And but like I got done with it, and everybody's like, "Chris, you did good." And but the host guy, I'm like, "Oh boy, I'm about to get it." And he goes, "Man, I'll tell you what," he said, "usually the comedians get a little pissy if you go over your time," but he said that was pretty funny. Just next time, keep an eye on it. I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
And it was super cool. And the funny thing was, and I'll never forget this, when I went and I was walking, the 3 dudes that snubbed me
Yeah.
were like,
yeah.
"Dude, good set." And I just walked right past them like I'd never seen
You
them
snubbed
before.
them?
Yeah, because
Oh, you
that's
shouldn't have
mean.
snubbed them.
Well, they were mean,
No, I
you
know,
know.
but-
Well, that's the thing, man. I'm not mean to anybody. I try to literally be the nicest person all the time. But it was just like, ugh, you know.
No, I hear you. But yeah, I could see that. But it's nice that you earn their respect.
Right. I will say I haven't been treated that way whatsoever because the June 22nd of this year was when I started again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that went well.
Yeah, so that was 8 years ago. So did you only do the one time?
Yep.
Oh, why didn't you come back?
Because it was too good. It's weird. I'm one of these people that I'm not used to great things happening, and I just go, "Oh, I can't do better than this," or like this is gonna go bad.
Okay.
So I actually, this was on MySpace, or no, was it the face? No, Facebook. It was back when they both existed. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Remember those days when Tom was your friend and life was good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had a MySpace, actually. My friends did when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, but I never...
Well, somebody had hit me up on I remember, I think it was MySpace, and he said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing some comedy at this place called Meatheads down?" I think he said downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I don't know what Meatheads is now.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue. But he said, "Yeah, you can be a feature guy. We'll put you on the sign." And I'm like, I've done comedy for 7 minutes. And that scared
This
me.
is shortly after because you had your set posted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was like, I think I reached out to a couple people like, hey, thanks for letting me do that, and he hit me back but he was like, yeah, we'll put you on this. And it was just like, ooh, this is kind of scary,
Right.
It was just too much. I wish I'd have done it now because imagine what I could be doing today.
If you just stuck with it.
Right.
Yeah,
but
time is pretty crucial.
it's it's never something that I planned on. And I'm like, cool, because it got to the point where they're like, Chris, do stand up, to where it irritated me. And I'm like, if you be quiet, I'll do it one time. And I did it. And I remember my dad called me, and I love my dad. Hey, Dad. He'll watch the podcast.
Nice.
I love my dad, but my dad just goes, hey, that wasn't terrible. And I'm like, thanks, Dad.
Oh, nice.
That's my dad saying, you did okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he goes, I showed you me, Ma. And I'm like, the stuff I talked about.
Yeah.
Woo, I'll let you watch that video later. And I'm like, oh, my God. And he still shows her my stand-up to this
What'd
day.
she say?
And she goes, as long as you having fun, baby, you do what you want to.
Yeah.
And she's become way more supportive now.
That's good.
And let's see, yeah. But I ran away from it because it went well.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like, and I still do that to this day sometimes. Like, don't ever take offense if you see me get up during your set. Because I'll be honest, I'm a diabetic, and 9 times out of 10, I have to use the restroom. Or
So to like get insulin or something?
metformin.
Okay.
The pills, yeah. But I have to pee a lot being a
Yeah.
diabetic sometimes. So I get up, and sometimes I'm hurting or sore. I have to get up and move around. And then there's times where I'm like, I'll do a set, and then I'm like, let me out of here.
Right.
Not even if it went good, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Something about this, and I'll go run to the bar or something, because
Right.
after I got done that day, I said, you let me the hell out of here. I'm out. Gone. So I go up to the bar, and this girl, the next girl got finished, and she came up, and God bless her, I don't remember her name either. And she come up and she goes, how many times have you done that? And I was like, this is my first time. She said, don't lie. I said, ma'am, I swear I've never done this day in my life. And she goes, I wish my first time would have been that good. And I'm like, holy crap, maybe
Yeah.
I did okay.
It's extremely rare.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things like, I get determined. I'm like, I can't fail at this. Am I going to give you like the, selling out the Madison Square Garden performance? Probably not. But I at least want it to be like, well, I didn't want to wait, because when your friends are like, well, come see you. I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Me neither. I don't even. I get uncomfortable when my friends say they want to come.
I've started to, but it just depends. Like, because when I first started doing that, I didn't like if I'd have saw anybody sitting there like, I don't want to talk to these people. But I know I'll talk. Oh, you're my friend. I'm gonna pretend everybody else isn't here. And luckily, my friend sat in the first 2 rows, and that's all I could see.
Right.
So it was cool. But now I look at it and cringe and go, ugh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's how that started. And
What got you back on stage on June 22nd of this year?
the bar. It was a combination of the bar and my friend, Mr. David Sneed. Hey, David. Give him a shout out. He's a good friend of mine, wrestler in North Carolina. Good dude. He's always been like, you're the funniest dude on the planet. And he'd share my stuff around and be like, this guy's going to be this guy's a legend. God bless him. I love you, David. And he kept going, bro, you got to do more stand-up. Because I finally put that video on YouTube. I'm like, here, you want to see it? There it is. Don't watch it in front of me, please. And
Right.
He goes, dude, you're great. Do more. And I kept going, I'll do it soon. I'll do it soon. I'll do it soon. Years went by. I'd even write a joke here and there. And I found those and used those later. They were good. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do one more. Because I owe him that much, and a few other people, I'll do one more. And then my mom was the Sundays were dead for the bar. A lot of places it is. And I said, what about stand up? Now this is a good one. I told my mom and stepdad owned that bar, and my stepdad was there, and he's like, we got to drum up some business. And I said, what about stand up comedy? He goes, cool. You know anybody funny? And I'm like, bro, no, I don't. So it was a combination of that. And
so then did you start going to a radio room?
Well, yeah. Nah, I got another story about the radio room. But this all started from trying to drum up business on Sunday. I said, well, I'll do comedy. And I was going to do it I think it was June 5th was the day I picked.
Uh-huh.
And then my mom goes, do you have people with you? And I said, oh, shit, I can't do this by myself. I didn't even think about it.
You were just going to go up there
I was just going to go up there and just
start talking?
Yeah.
Oh, my
God.
And
I didn't even realize it. I didn't even put that thought process in there.
Wow. You got a lot of confidence to be able to just...
I have none.
See,
I don't have any confidence, but it's like I know enough people that would be at least entertained by it, and I wanted to help.
Because the stories pertain to the people in the bar? Like
a lot of
regulars.
them. And I wanted to help because everybody goes, Chris, you got to do stand-up comedy. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm doing sit-down comedy. My back hurts. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I didn't have any people, and I'm like, I don't even know anybody that does comedy. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I should probably practice once or twice. So I go to, what was it? The radio room. A girl at the bar hit me up. She goes, Chris, I want to do stand-up. They do stand-up at the radio room. And I said, the radio room? The concert place? Because I'd only been there to see a concert. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, we'll go. And she goes, well, they do it on Wednesday. And I said, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. We'll do that one Wednesday. I didn't realize that it was Tuesday. And she meant tomorrow.
Right.
And she goes, Chris, let's go.
Yeah.
And I said, when's it start? She's like, I think it starts at 8. And I'm like, it's 7:30. No, I'm not going. Fuck off. No, I'm not going. I ain't doing this. I got no jokes. What are you kidding? And they go, no. She goes, no, let's go. And I said, okay, double shots. Bring them on because I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But she said, I'll do it if you do it. I said, fine. We get there. She backed out. And I'm like, oh, I'm so mad at you.
She didn't show up?
No, she brought me. She just backed out.
Oh, she just said she's not going to go on stage?
Nope. Because I did ask her. I said, because everybody be like, you're a comedian. I'm like, no, I'm not. I did it like one time 8 years ago.
Right.
And she goes, I go, hey, do you have any jokes? She goes, no. I said, oh, you might want to get one or two before you go up there. And, well, we got there late because, and Adam couldn't fit me. That's how I met Adam. He couldn't fit me on stage.
You're probably like, okay.
And I'm like, not a problem. Because I watched the show. And I saw you and Bill there.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And I'm like, who is this guy with the suit? Who is this character? What kind of character is he trying to be? Then you find out that's just Bill. And I love Bill Rye. He's cool. And so I watched the show, and it was a dead, silent room. You know what I'm talking about. But like you got the one little smattering of applause when it's like, oh, Mr. David Bakker, give it up for David, and then you get down, give it up for David. But like nothing in between, and I'm like, fuck this place, not going back. Nope. I was like, if this was my first time, it would be my last because it was just crickets, and it had nothing to do with the comedy. It's just sometimes that room ain't feeling it. I still haven't got that place figured out. And so I said, yep, not coming back. And Adam's like, hey, you come back too? Not this week, next week, I'll get you on the show. And I was like, okay. I ain't coming back. Not doing it. And so I went to Coffee Underground. That's how I come back there. And my heart is just like, and I'm like, oh, liquor, couple liquor drinks. I'm doing better now. I don't need them anymore. And I did pretty good. It was a lot of just, I left my notebook in the chair and my phone on the chair, and I'm like, oh. But I did okay. I made a couple people laugh that I knew at least. I look at it this way. I don't think I bombed yet until somebody goes, get the fuck off the stage. As long as one person comes up and goes, that was good, I'm happy, you know. So that's how that started, and then it just, one show turned into two. And the thing is, I said, I'm not going to the radio room. That was terrifying. And I was like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do. I'm gonna go eat shit at the radio room. And you know what? I went up there. I didn't do too bad. And I remembered because the second time when I came back in June, I was at Coffee Underground, and you were there. And I'm like, that guy's got a cool laugh. I like that guy. Oh my God. Because like you kind of hold it together. Like
if people bomb, I'll laugh really hard at the joke not working.
Well, the cool.
It's funny to me.
It is, and sometimes bombing is not bad. But yeah, I remembered your laugh, and I'm like, I know where he's here. Like I could pick you out in the crowd, and actually, yeah, I went back. It wasn't bad, and that's when I met you and Bill, and it just snowballed from there. And I'm on like 30 something shows.
Yeah,
I call them shows. It sounds cool.
No, they are. I mean, they're mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to do the bad and the good. Just do all of them.
Oh, I've gotten some of those.
The bad and the good rooms. Doolittle's can be a rough room tonight. Depending on how many people show up, that can be a rough room. But, you know, well, eventually you just stop caring.
Yeah.
And then you're more comfortable to be able to make any room work. But
yeah. Well, that's why, Bill Rye makes me laugh always because he I don't know where we were, but he did his normal stuff, and just a couple of those jokes just nobody didn't hit. So he'll just tell another joke and then go back and tell the same one again, and it hit. And that's kind of like he's determined to get stuff over, and I love it.
Yeah. Bill's figuring out how to make his character accessible out the gate, which is really helpful. Because if you don't, if an audience doesn't understand your angle, or maybe it's too edgy too soon, they'll maybe be afraid to laugh because they don't know who you are, don't like you yet. But,
well, the cool thing about Bill is you got to figure Bill out. Like, what is, because he's going to come up and you're going to be like, what's this guy doing? But when you get it, it's like,
hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah. And there is no character to Bill. That is literally 24/7 Bill.
Yeah. There's exaggeration to his act, but for sure.
Oh, I love it.
He's the quirkiness is real and everything. We had a really fun interview on this show.
Yeah, I watched that. It was very good. And that's the interesting thing about comedy. Like Bill and me are totally different.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody like Bill, and that's not an insult. I love Bill. But everybody's so different. You'll get this kind of comedy and this kind of comedy, and it's just really interesting.
Yeah, everybody's really unique.
Yeah.
The most fun I had recently regarding like the local comics was probably Whitney Rayner's roast, because you got to see everybody go up and say some pretty, horribly offensive shit like you would expect at a roast. But the jokes were pretty personal, and people were like, it wasn't just surface level stuff. I mean, it was like everybody kind of knew each other pretty well, and I hadn't laughed that hard in a long time at a local small open mic. I mean, that was pretty great.
I was there for that.
No,
yes.
I know. I wanted to hear about your roast of Whitney.
Oh man,
well, you kind of confessed a little crush. But
how could you not love Whitney?
she is beautiful.
I love. Well, the thing is, like, okay, yeah.
What did you say again? Remember, like,
oh gosh. Well, I remember we were talking about it in the secret chat that she didn't know about.
She didn't know roast was coming.
I was like, man, I can't be mean to Whitney. Yeah. I love Whitney.
Yeah, and I was like, Chris, sack up, dude, and roast the shit out of her.
Oh man, that was hard. But here's the thing, like, no, Whitney, I adore Whitney. Like, she's not only is she beautiful on the outside, she's beautiful on the inside.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you know, like, because she's always been real supportive, and she tells me I do good even when I think I've suckled on like a turd. She'll go, "Hey, you did good," and she's just always positive. So I'm like, how do I be mean to this person that I think is great?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I had nothing wrote down. I had a stupid joke about my children, which do not exist. About like ejaculating into a tissue.
Oh my God.
It's just a joke. But I got a clean.
Oh, dude, yeah, never mind. This is aggressive.
Yeah,
I remember this now.
And I was just like, and of course it was a brand new tissue. I would never do that with any used tissue. So I just like, I'm gonna put this in my pocket and see how this goes.
Oh my God. You said.
And the thing was, like, I didn't know how to be mean to her because I really, like, don't get me wrong, I can be the biggest asshole, believe it or not. But I couldn't be mean to you. You're my friend. Whitney's my friend. I can't do that. And but I'm like, okay, we're just joking. It'll be fun. And God Almighty, she got lit. I mean, flames. You know, like they weren't holding back. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll try this. And
well, you mean the other comics were like going hard at her?
Yeah. And the thing is, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna talk about. The only thing I came up with was a fake relationship. I was just gonna say me and Whitney's relationship isn't going well because it's not real and she doesn't know about it. And that's just all I had. And I was like, I'm gonna throw this tissue at her and be like, here's our kids.
Oh my God.
Pardon. Here's our kids. Go run that through you. You know, just that's what I came up with. And I didn't know they were going to make her sit on the stage. So I had to go up there and look at Whitney, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I love you. Because I felt bad. Because I literally, I don't want to be mean to people. And I said, okay. So I took this tissue out of my pocket, and I was like, you know, our relationship's not going well because it's not real, you know. And I don't even remember what else I said, but I said, "Here, I got this for you," and I put it in her lap.
I think I.
And she just goes. She goes with her phone like, and I just said, "Honey, it's new. I wouldn't do you like that. I'm just joking." And I just started talking about dumb stuff. I think I said, I said, "Go run that through you one time." And I said, "Do me a favor. Go home, put your legs up."
Oh my God, dude!
Well, you asked.
I did. I forgot what you did though.
Do you remember now?
Oh yeah. Now I do.
Well, the thing was, I said, the thing that made me laugh was, "Go put your legs up. Help the sperm out," because I said
Jesus.
I said my sperm is as handicapped as I am, and it probably wouldn't make it past the lip if you don't.
Oh my God.
And
well,
I had been carrying that stupid tissue.
Dude, that is so aggressive.
And like I said it, and then I immediately went, "I'm sorry, I love you. I don't mean that." It's just hard to be mean.
Yeah.
But the part that pissed me off the most, I didn't know we were all roasting each other. I thought it was just her.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know either. I went first and didn't know to roast everybody else.
Because it was funny because Colin just goes, and I'm not even paying attention. Colin goes, "I'm not going to roast Chris. He's got enough wrong with him already." And Adam just went, "Whoa." And I went, "Who are they talking about?" And I'm like, "Whoa, that's me," which I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I did too.
And
Adam roasted me too. He
said, God, everybody did it.
He said he's got a. Oh yeah, everybody roasted me. Yeah,
I did too. I'm sorry about that. I love you.
Yeah, I forgot what you said. Adam said, "Yeah, he's got a podcast called Instead of Killing Myself." I think you should have done it.
Yeah, dude, that is the best podcast name.
Yeah,
I was so ill about that because it took me in furlough days.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, let's call this, but I know there's a podcast called this. Yeah. First, I wanted to be the Unbookables, kind of like the Untouchable. There's some kind of Unbookables comedy something going on. Because, I Google everything. And some of the names we had were fantastic.
Yeah, but they'd already been taken.
I still want to do a podcast called Fisted Sister.
Oh, my God. So Chris is a clean comedian.
Absolutely. Now, let me
book him for your next kid's birthday party.
gosh. No. Hold on.
The freaking tissue shit.
The tissue thing was funny. I was going to do that joke because I like the one where it's like, hey, and granted, it's a little dated now because it's not Father's Day. My kids didn't give me shit for Father's Day.
Some of this.
Because I left them in this. And I was going to throw it. But it's like we're in the middle of a pandemic. I don't want somebody to like fall over a chair, so I saved it for Whitney.
Oh yeah, some of that. I mean, I'm joking. Like it's obviously inappropriate and like so horribly. I mean, well, God, some of the crazy shit you see in comedy is like what makes it fun though. Mm-hmm. Like, you remember Poncho? He's in Florida now, but do you know the guy Poncho?
I've heard the name.
He's a little crazy. Yeah. I talk to him sometimes too. We snap. But he has a dog. I hope the dog's still alive, but he had a dog. And he had like a baby's, like a vest thing that holds a baby. And he had the dog in the baby holder.
Like Karen.
And he walked on stage at Comedy Zone.
With the dog?
Yeah, with the dog. And I took a picture. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Like you see so many crazy acts and stuff, and Pancho is objectively hilarious. He's a little crazy, but he's very funny. But dude, you see crazy shit like Bill's shit. Like you see.
Well, okay, now here's the thing: the Bill stuff I like so much that I'll steal it from him, which I know you're not supposed to do that.
No, you're not supposed to do. What do you mean steal it?
Not steal it like that, but when something doesn't go well, I'll go, well, I got an idea for a movie.
Oh, you'll just quote him.
Yeah, I'll quote him. I won't not steal it, but
yeah. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny. You mentioned the name of the podcast. It is a homage / reference to a Louis C.K. bit, and I haven't been like I haven't pretended that that's not true, but
no, dude.
And I hope that's not. I mean, whatever. It just fit the theme of what I was wanting to, and it was a story that he told. And a tag to that, but it just fit well. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think affectionately done, that could be okay. I don't know. Maybe it's not Louis. If Louis reached out to me to like make me change it, that would be worth it.
You just want him to reach out to you.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Big fan of his.
Oh, huge fan. The wording's not even exact, but
Well, dude, it's accurate. For a podcast,
it's in the joke he was making fun of a woman who had her own little shop, and that was like her pet project, and he said he hates going into those little places because he's like, this woman like put her whole heart and soul into this little craft shop, and like you got to pretend to be interested and like that it's good, and he's like he's looking at a crowd like, wow, you made this, really? You made this instead of killing yourself? That's the tag. And I was like, yeah, I did this instead of killing myself. I made this podcast.
Well, the funny thing is I have another podcast, which is just me. And it's just a little dinky one that I talk into my phone. It's just usually me talking about comedies. It's not even really for people to listen to. It's just for me to
Yeah, that sounds like Bill Burr's podcast. Bill Burr's Monday Morning podcast. He just
love Bill Burr. Bill Burr's a legend. It's called Insert Jokes Here. Mm-hmm. And it's a picture of my ass. Oh my Literally God. Is.
How many episodes have you done?
I think 10, maybe.
10?
They're not nothing special. It's just I wanted to do a podcast for a long time. I used to do one. Mm-hmm.
Before you did stand-up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a video game gaming podcast. It's just if you were going to pick the comedian out of the group, you would have known it would have been me because they would talk about like, well, this is Xbox, this is Nintendo. Basically, they're reading news that you could do yourself, and I didn't think that was fun.
No, it's not that interesting.
So I'll start talking about ridiculous things and just, and they're like, oh, well, I want to cut this out. I want to cut this thing where you did this. And I'm like,
no, podcasts shouldn't be edited. Podcasts should just be long form, bullshitting.
Well, like I said, I edit.
Like what you're doing.
I edit the one I do, and it's only because some of it just might just be us just chit chatting about whatever. But I leave it running just in case there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I do editing at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I edit clips to promote it, but the conversation itself is pretty long form.
Yeah, and I might edit out like, somebody, you get a phone call, and there'll be silence. Well, I'll cut that. Nothing. You don't miss anything. But I like to keep all that extra stuff, on the computer, just in case one day it's like, well, we got nothing.
Yeah.
Why don't we share the hour of where we tried to come up with podcast names using a generator? Mm-hmm. Like we could have been Austrian Thunderscalp. That was one.
That's pretty funny.
The one that made me laugh, because we literally pulled up a name generator and it would be like body part, pick all this, and it came up with the name Stick Donkey. The Stick Donkeys. I think it was a band generator, and we're like, that sounds so racist.
Yeah.
But it's funny stuff. And actually the only one that stuck, because we had like 20 or 30, and I'm just like, I'm depressed. This is depressing. And then I was like, what about Dress to Depress? And he's like, I like it. And I'm like, cool. And there's a Dress to Depress, TO, like .com. And I'm like, well, let's change it to Dress #2 Depressed, because there's two of us. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of funny because the abbreviation of the podcast is D2DP. And that makes me laugh. So we're the Dress to Depress podcast.
D to DP.
Down to DP.
Yeah. Yeah, that podcast. What's that rated? G?
Yes.
It's rated.
It is only Old Testament stuff. No, it's hellfire and terrible. Well, let me at least tell you this. I literally do not have a potty mouth. Like, if you take me around anybody
Strange.
on
Surprising.
stage, I have terrible potty mouth.
Right.
If you bring me around your family, your girlfriend, I will be 100% gentleman all the time.
Yeah.
But when I get up on stage, I'm just like, blah, 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 shit, blah, 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 blah. And I've been trying to do clean comedy, which has not worked. The things that happen to me, I can't. I have a joke about a stripper's beehole. How do I clean that up? Stripper showed me her. It still doesn't work. So, but yeah, I don't get it. When I will literally
if you
say,
try, yeah, I think the cleaner stuff seems to me to be more observational.
it's a little difficult.
It's like quirky stuff. Jerry Seinfeld was the probably the most famous observational comic there ever was. And that book right there is every joke he's ever written. And if you read through that, man, a lot of it's
Every joke he's written's in this book.
Oh yeah, that was his. If you look at this one, I can't. Like he needs a promotion here, but yeah, Is This Anything by Jerry Seinfeld. If you're on audio, I'm holding this up. But yeah, he came out with this. So yeah, if you go through, he's got it sectioned off by like.
Oh wow.
By decade.
Oh, that's a cool
yeah, it goes
format,
from like the 70s to through to the 2000s. And yeah,
that is neat.
I mean, that's a little I don't know, grandiose to put out every material like as a book, but
well, that's
but I love having it. It's a great coffee table book. You can pick that up and read it.
Absolutely.
But the jokes in there, dude. I mean, he talks about everything. He talks about everything from like dogs to airline food to like ambulances, like every little thing you could think of. And it's fun too. Are you a Seinfeld fan?
I like the show. I haven't seen a whole lot of his stand up. Like you showed me some. I need to get around to checking it out because you said he has Netflix.
He does. Don't watch his newest Netflix special. If you want to watch Jerry Seinfeld stand up, watch I'm Telling You for the Last Time. It was before he retired, all of his old material that got him famous. And it was like the whole idea of it was he's never telling these jokes again. And it was his act, which was so polished and so great. And it came out in, I think, the early 2000s, if not late 90s, like right after his show ended. And that is one of the best hours of stand-up I've ever seen. And it's clean, and it's a little edgy in places, but observationally, great. The cool part, too, about clean is it doesn't have to be, like, lame. It's still funny as hell in terms of, like, being a little bit mean and edgy. Like, he kind of has this persona, Jerry does, of, like, kind of being a dick and selfish. And, like, he makes it from that perspective, and his comedic character's interesting like that. And if you've seen the show Seinfeld?
Oh, who hasn't?
Right.
It just hit Netflix, didn't it?
Right, exactly. So yeah, everybody should watch it again. I mean, it's amazing. It's my favorite show ever. Like, I got Seinfeld stuff.
Yeah.
But
oh, I just noticed that.
yeah,
was Seinfeld.
yeah. I have a
Right
framed
on.
picture. It's the Rolling Stone
Wizard of
magazine
Oz.
cover, framed with the characters dressed as Wizard of Oz. But yeah, dude, the Seinfeld characters are dicks. They
really are.
They
Yeah,
are
if you think about it.
selfish. They are. Good stuff happens to them. Bad stuff happens to them. They're all kind of neurotic. There's not a lot of lovey-dovey stuff in there. There's not a lot of lessons to be learned. Their motto was no hugging, no learning, like, through the show. So there's not a lot of mushy stuff. There's not a lot of relationship stuff. It's straight up comedy. And Larry David held true to that. And what was funny was funny. And, George, very selfish, very neurotic, very insecure, kind of a lovable loser type guy. Jerry, kind of a snarky, selfish guy, like, dates women for, he broke up with a woman because he thought she had fake breasts. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, he says, I don't mind a woman with a phony personality, but I got to draw the line somewhere.
The one where didn't he break up with a woman because she wouldn't wear clothes, like she was a nudist?
Yeah, there was one episode. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he broke up with her because of it, but I think it got to be too much. There was, like, good naked and bad naked.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So then he tried to be naked in front of her, and she's
It
like,
got
"What are you
she's-
doing?" Like, yeah. But anyway,
Oh, good show.
I think comedy with that angle is great. Like, comedy that's a little mean, like Always Sunny. Those characters are assholes too.
That's what I've
And they
heard.
get themselves into trouble, and things don't end up working out for them. So, like, it's kind of a signal, like, no, don't be like that, And especially the finale of Seinfeld, if you watch what happens to him at the end, they go to prison.
They do.
So there's judgment passed on this type of way of living, but it's still hilarious.
Do you think they're ever going to do another episode where they get out of jail?
They did a reunion episode already, actually,
Did they?
through Curb Your Enthusiasm. Have you ever seen that show?
I have not. I'm such a bad
Curb is
TV
great.
watcher.
No, it's cool, man. Curb is unbelievable, but they did kind of a reunion episode where, like, in Curb, it's Larry David as himself.
Oh, I remember that.
Living
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah.
So the premise of the episode was they're getting everybody back to do a reunion episode. So it was like a reunion episode within the Curb universe. So they could do stuff without it being like what Larry and Jerry would have hated, I think, which was a traditional Friends reunion, like the Friends reunion. God,
Right.
Fucking stupid. I hate Friends, but
See, now I love that show, but
you do?
I do.
Okay, well, I just think less of you now, so don't worry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just kidding. I
So does my family. What's the big deal? No.
No, I gave Brad Deaton a hard time because he likes The Big Bang Theory.
I used to like it,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of got like, okay, this shtick got a little old.
Yeah, don't like it.
No.
But whatever. No, I don't care. I seriously don't care. To each his own. But
Well, like Seinfeld was interesting to me because I watched it, since I didn't realize, you just don't realize how long that show was on the air.
9 years.
And it started, in the
It started like
80s?
89, 88 or 89.
I don't recall it being that old. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, because it didn't get big until about season 4, season 5. And thank God NBC let it stay on the air because it had a small audience. It was a niche show. It didn't catch on in the mainstream until.
Well, like I went to, I think I went to a bakery not long ago, and they had the half chocolate, half vanilla cookies.
Yeah,
and
the
I'm
black
like,
and white cookies?
those are the Seinfeld cookies that I to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody dislikes that show.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
At least somebody goes, I like this one episode.
Somehow racial harmony eludes us.
Yeah.
If we could only look to the cookie, all our racial problems should be solved. We could, yeah, people should watch that nowadays. There's a lot of racial conflicts nowadays.
Oh, I couldn't.
He has the black and white cookie, and he holds it up, and there's a black guy who's like also holding the cookie. He's like, yep. Like,
Yeah. And I was like, that's that Seinfeld cookie. I want that.
Yeah, dude.
But I got diabetes. Not fair. Not fair at all.
What a buzzkill.
Yeah, what a buzzkill.
You can get a sugar-free black and white cookie.
No.
Can you have those? Can you eat sugar-free cookies?
I can eat sugar-free cookies. I don't want to
Those
because
taste
they
like-
suck.
They taste like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're good with these, though, right? Coke Zero?
Yeah,
I didn't know you were diabetic.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not so bad. It's just, man, everything everything good has sugar in it. And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll try sugar-free. But this is worse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my pancreas was just like, Chris, go fuck yourself. And
Did
I
you
got
have
no
it as a
control.
kid, or did you get it later in life?
I got it later.
Type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Okay.
So,
Can you unwind type 2 some
yeah, you can.
by, like, lifestyle?
Yeah, diet change. And I mean, I've been doing good, believe it or not. I had, for my size, I was very heavy. I was pushing like 190.
And how tall are you?
God, if I'm lucky, 5'3".
Oh,
Maybe
dang.
maybe 5'4" if I spike my hair up, maybe. And
So 190 is pretty. That's pretty thick for that.
yeah,
height.
but I weighed myself the other day. I weigh like 155. I'm almost back at high school
Hell
weight.
yeah! Congrats, dude.
You know how you do
What-
that?
How?
Stress.
Stress?
And yeah. No, I have no idea. I have not like changed my diet. I don't know. Maybe
I got a strategy for you if you want to try it.
What's that?
So I tell this to a lot of people. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast yet, but if you look up a guy named Cole Robinson on YouTube, maybe I have talked about this before. Hopefully not. If anybody's been listening, it's been a while. Cole Robinson, he has this diet called the snake diet. And I would probably check with your doctor because in case it's whatever. But it's just aggressive, prolonged fasting.
Oh
So
my
just
God.
Don't eat. So the way you start is you do a 48-hour fast. You just don't eat for 48 hours. And that's a long time for most people. Like if I've told girls this before, like, I don't work out ever. And I stay the same weight generally. Well, people are saying I start to get a little bit. But yeah, if you could do a 48-hour fast, like let's say you had a goal weight. Like you said, you were back to the weight you were in high school.
Close.
Yeah. So a lot of people want to get back to a weight they remember being. So if you have that goal in mind, you set the goal and then you just watch the scale. You do a 48-hour fast. Your body will be in ketosis after 48 hours. And ketosis, most people know what that is now, but if you don't know, it's just when your body runs out of sugar.
Right.
And it has to continue to feed itself somehow.
Right.
So your body will automatically start eating itself. It'll start eating fat first. And that's what I didn't know. I always thought that if you didn't eat for too long, your body would start eating muscle first. It's not necessarily the case. If you have fat on your torso, so if you have like, there's subcutaneous fat that's like closer to the surface of your skin, and then there's cutaneous, subcutaneous. I think subcutaneous underneath is what's like on your torso. And that's what, like, if you have like a big beer gut, or a lot of people have that, it'll start eating at that first, and it'll preserve it's muscle sparing. So you eat fast 48 hours, then when you refeed, you'll eat like meat and vegetables, something that doesn't have sugar in it. And then you do another 48 or push yourself to 72 hours of not eating, refeed. And you just repeat that until you're down to your goal weight. And to assist yourself with those longer fasting periods, the only thing you need to drink is this thing that you can make at home. And it's called snake juice, is what he calls it.
Oh, boy.
That's why they call it the snake diet. Because a snake only eats, they'll eat like a mouse or like something, and then they won't eat for days, right? So that's the idea. But the snake juice is a mixture of electrolytes. And it's what they put in Gatorade. It's like, you could also buy Gatorade Zero or Powerade Zero.
Right.
All it has is electrolytes.
Those are
and
pretty
everything
good.
else is water. So what that does is electrolytes prevent you from getting lightheaded. Because you're not eating anything, you'll start to get lightheaded. So you can mix salts, potassium, and magnesium. I think I got those ingredients right. It's been a while since I've made this because I just fast on my own now. But yeah, and you mix it up into a water bottle and you just sip on that while you're fasting. And it makes fasting super easy because you don't feel lightheaded. Once you're over the mental hurdle of that first 48 hours, you can fast for days. And actually, I like to cite this statistic. Do you know what guess how long the longest medically supervised fast is? Guess how long the longest anybody's gone without food?
A month and a half.
370 days. It was over a year.
Whoa.
This dude was fat as hell, dude. Super fat. There's a paper on it. You can look it up. I think it was in the 70s or 80s. And this dude fasted in the hospital. He was connected to IV fluids, which, by the way, IV fluids, that's all that snake juice is. It's just electrolytes. It's salt water.
Right.
And that's what you drink, highly diluted. And he had IVs, and then as he lost weight, I don't know how heavy he was. He was several hundred pounds at least.
Yeah.
But his body was in just raging ketosis, just eating the fat off of himself. And he had nothing but black coffee, IV fluids, and was just monitored by medical professionals. And that's how long. So he kicked Jesus' ass. I mean, Jesus did a 40-day, and that was pretty.
Wow.
But Jesus wasn't fat. So
No, but I mean, like,
if you're skinny, it's hard to fast that long.
do you know if he eats food now?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm sure he does.
I can't imagine, like.
Well, once you get to your goal weight, then you just watch the scale. And then if you ever go up, you just say, okay, I'm just going to fast for 48 hours. It's no big deal. I know mentally I can do it. I'll be back down to where I need to be. That's all I do. That's all I've done for the last 3 years. And when you fast, your body probably hates you, but it also like stays on its toes because it's like, shit. Your body thinks you're kind of like a caveman. Like, well, this guy eats and then he's not eating for a while. So we're going to have to keep our cells vigilant.
Right.
We're going to have to break shit down. And when we do get food, we're going to have to rebuild efficiently. So that's so much better than just eating a lot all the time and just keeping your body lazy and just your cells get lazy. And it's like,
Right.
so it's good for anti-aging. It's good for, so yeah.
So if I do this, I can look 25 again?
It might help.
It might help
Might help.
with this.
I am. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the long-term effects are, but
That's definitely
I
interesting.
think it's good. I love fasting, dude. I
You
think
love
the
it?
reason. Oh yeah, I think the reason it hasn't caught on is because there's nothing to sell. There's nobody to make money off of it.
Except the people that drink coffee.
Well, yeah, but coffee's. I mean, I drink black coffee. It's so cheap. Like water and ingredients from the grocery store. That's why I like Cole Robinson, because he has some marketing stuff now, but he's a minimalist and like he was not trying to make money off this. Like he's like, buy this from the grocery store, do it yourself. He trains people, but he's like, you know, he's basically saying Americans are effing lazy and doctors are, don't get me wrong, doctors are brilliant. You should listen to your doctors. But a lot of them have kind of accepted the status quo of like certain biomarkers of like, you know, you're this age, this shit is expected to happen to you at this age. You know, you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You're basically going to have that. There's no way to reverse it. He's got people that have reversed type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, I've heard about that. That is true, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you can't reverse type 1, but type 2, you know. So, hey, man, yeah, you should try it.
Yeah,
sorry, you could tell I flipped on a switch there because I got really into that
Somebody's
for a while.
passionate, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, no,
sorry I talked so long.
No. You talk all you want. This is your podcast. I'm going to do that, then I'm going to be jacked. I'm just going to be ripped.
Dude, I'll do it with you, man.
Cool.
Because I do, I only eat once a day now. Like, I haven't eaten anything today. And what is it? 5 o'clock? Almost 6?
Yeah, almost 6.
Yeah, so these are Coke Zeros, so not the greatest. But the thing I like about it is, and this is bad, I should eat healthier, but I eat poorly, more poorly than I should. But because I don't eat frequently, the weight stays
It's
on.
not as bad, right?
Yeah. And if I go real out of whack, I will start to put on weight, but I can always go back to a fast and then. But some people hear that and they're like, "You're crazy." Like they think, "Oh, that's eating disorders." There's a difference, I think, between managing a fasting lifestyle versus like, yeah. The bigger problem is people being way overweight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I've seen stuff like that, but because like a lot of people just either they eat to deal with things, and that's kind of a bummer too.
Oh yeah, dude. I think anything where you overindulge, and I will overindulge. I'll eat a shit ton, but yeah, if you're doing it to cope for something, like, did you drink?
Rarely.
Really? Okay, good deal.
I used to drink all the time. Like when we first got that bar, I would go in there and be like, "We're gonna be here an hour. Let's see how drunk I can get."
Yeah.
Boy, that game gets old.
Yeah.
And if you ever think you drink too much, go to a bar and look at other people, and that'll make you.
Yeah, dude. Going to bars makes me sad sometimes when you see folks that are there who are just not talking to a lot of people and just passing the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, it's a bummer because don't get me wrong, there's good people.
They are good people. I just feel sad about it.
Yeah, well, like some people, like when we told them like we were closing the bar, it's like I don't know what these two are gonna do because these two this was their everyday routine. And don't get me wrong, they didn't come in there and get trashed. They come in there, chit-chatted with their buddies, and it's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I've seen some people, and it's like, and the thing about having a bar is you can get in trouble if you overserve somebody. Like, say you drink too much at a bar and you go have an accident.
Liable?
Right? Which I don't know how to feel about that because I don't think it's right that you can go to the liquor store and buy every bottle of liquor in there, and that's not a problem. But you don't want people to get hurt or anything.
Yeah.
And so. I kind of got off topic a little bit.
No, but alcohol, I think, can be. It gets a lot of people, dude.
It does.
It was gonna get me. I think. I just didn't have any alternative that was healthy. That like there was no end in sight. That was like making me happy. Alcohol didn't make me happy, but it was like, oh well, shit. Weekends here, might as well, and then like, I'd like sports, so watch some sports.
That's good.
But I didn't have anything else to light up or anything.
Yeah. Well,
there was glimpses of things but in my 20s, but yeah, dude. My job is great, but it's not something that fulfills me meaningfully,
right,
all the time. So yeah, dude. I mean. There's a lot of people, I think, that alcohol just creeps up on you, and you don't watch it.
The main reason I drank more was depression. I suffer from serious depression.
Yeah,
I guess it just kind of comes with the territory when you have a disability. I think for like a solid 2 years, I did absolutely nothing.
Right. So you have cerebral palsy.
I do, yes.
Is that diagnosed from birth?
Yes. The best I can figure it. This is an interesting story. But when I was born 2 months early. Let's see. Yeah, I was born 2 months early, and from what I was told, they told my mom when she was in the hospital. They said, you got 50-50. It's either you or your baby. Both of you is not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, I want my baby. Mm-hmm. And it's like they gave her something that they weren't supposed to. Mm-hmm. And I was there 20 minutes later.
So that was an error?
Well,
what they gave her?
That's the thing. They weren't. I don't know. They weren't supposed
that
to.
That induced her delivering you.
Yeah. And
had they not done that, you might have stayed in her womb for longer.
I don't know. That's the crazy thing. It was just kind of like, do you want to be alive or do you want your baby? That was that's tough. And when I was born, the best I can, well, from what I have been told, is I come out flatline dead, and they just, and here I am today. So technically,
you came out and you were flatline. They had to resuscitate you.
Yeah, like I'm not even supposed to be here right now, which is kind of cool.
You think about that a lot?
I do. I don't know how to think about things. I don't want to bring your podcast down or nothing.
No, please.
I'm
very interested in what you're about to say.
It's it's tough. Like from the best of my understanding is I didn't get enough oxygen to my brain, and it affects my motor skills. Like I'm not. I don't like to use terms like this. I'm not slow or
cognitively. You do not seem
right.
like you have any impairments.
Right. I mean, I'm an
Your brain
idiot.
seems
I'm an idiot, but that's just because.
I mean, the Whitney
I'm an idiot.
tissue idea. Is,
yeah, that
you
was.
might have something wrong with your brain.
Might have just. I hope.
I'm just kidding.
Well, what am I here for if I'm perfectly fine? You know what I mean? What are we doing right now?
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Adam, help! What are we doing?
Yeah. But.
And so it's just like, and that's kind of how that happened. And I'll be honest with you, if you want to talk about stuff like this, I didn't even know I had cerebral palsy till I was about 11 years old. I just went to the doctor, got those I got these sweet neon glow in the dark casts from like here to here. Mm-hmm. And when I was like in the 5th grade, and it was funny because I don't want to call them out, but all my dad's pothead friends would come over, and they would draw on my casts.
Yeah,
they'd be stoned, and there's a Ninja Turtle. I'm the only 5th grader with a pot leaf on the side of his cast.
I got you.
And yeah, that was interesting. And hold on, I don't want to lose my train of thought with that. Oh, here you go. And I've always wanted a pair of Chuck Taylors, even at 37 years old.
What are Chuck Taylors? I'm an idiot. I'm blanking.
The All-Stars, the
shoes?
The black, the red, yeah, and they lace up. They look like the old 50s shoes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But I wanted a pair of those. I've had one pair. Mm-hmm. And because I got these casts, because of my cerebral palsy, I don't have balance.
Right.
As you can see, like if you go to the radio room, Adam literally helps me up on the stage because I can't get over that step.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about being funny. I'm like, I don't want to fall off the step.
Yeah.
That's my biggest hurdle in comedy.
Yeah.
Steps.
Getting on the stage. Yeah.
Right. Like I wanted to be a Power Ranger as a kid. Well, shit's going on up the stairs. I'll take care of things down here. I'm going to go sit down, have a snack. So anyway, I don't do, they wouldn't give me crutches because I have no balance. So they're like, go get some shoes, lop the ends off of them. I was like, oh. My mom and dad were like, cool. So I go to Kmart. Remember those?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. I remember Kmart.
Go to Kmart, and I get these white Chuck Taylors. They had the Joker, the like 1950s Joker from Batman.
Nice.
All over them, right?
Nice.
Then we got to take these big-ass scissors and lop the ends off so I can put them on over my cast. We got those shoes for like $25.
Nice.
Look them up today.
Okay.
I think, I want to say one time I looked them up, they're like $600.
Wow.
Yeah, and
so
we
you
had
still got those shoes?
Hell no, but they'd be pointless if I did.
Oh yeah, they'd be way
because we just literally lopped off the end.
Yeah.
That's my funny shoe story.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing about having don't get me wrong, I don't have it as bad as some people.
So cerebral palsy.
Yes.
Have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
The son.
That
Walt
guy
Jr.,
actually has.
He has it.
Yeah, and that's not. I don't think that's part of the show. He literally does.
He literally does have it as an actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
In real life, and he walks with crutches.
Right.
He actually learns to drive in the show.
That's interesting.
Which is interesting. I kind of wonder if that's something that you could work towards, because I know right now they say that the motor skills are not the reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that show, and he cognitively has a little something.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm not aware. I don't think I do.
No, I don't think you do either.
But
at all. Like if I'm comparing, that's the only. That's sad. I don't know anybody else, but that's the only example I have in my head of somebody who's been diagnosed with that.
Well, it's like I tell jokes. Like I have a joke where it starts out with like somebody come up to me in Walmart and goes, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" Mm-hmm. That's actually happened to me a couple times, and it's really strange because it's like, can you see something? Like I don't notice it because I'm used to it. And I've actually had surgery on a leg to correct a dragging because the part that lifts like this stopped working. So they had to take it and replace it and all. And it's like an 80% improvement. I don't trip up and fall as much as I used to.
Nice.
Which, yeah, that's always good. Because I used to fall like a motherfucker. Like, yeah, you think I ate a lot of ass. I ate a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And, but anyway, yeah, so I had that. But people would come up to me and go, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, nothing. Well, you got to be specific. And it got to the point where
what were they commenting on?
I don't know.
Was it the maybe walking?
Some people were like that. I've had people ask me. I've literally had people go, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Well, that's kind of rude."
Yeah, it is rude.
And I'm sitting there like, if I got it like tattooed on my forehead, the joke I made about the woman talking to me really slowly, that happened. And and I'm just, I don't know. I've had people ask me, "Why do you walk funny? Does your penis work?" That's an interesting one.
It does.
It does.
I've heard enough of your material.
Right. It's got a bend in it, but that's my fault. That's my fault. But it's just weird. And it's like I went to Shriners Hospital for 16 years. I'm a big advocate for Shriners.
Shriners for Kids are over here. Yep.
Yeah, and it's funny to me now because I would always buy those pecan logs that they sell, and now I'm a diabetic. See this vicious circle; it never stops. But I went to Shriners for like 16 years, and I saw a little girl in those arm crutches. That's the first time I've ever got up and walked out of the hospital or the Shriners place, and they're like, "Why are you leaving?" I'm like, "I don't need to be here. This little girl needs your help more than I do." And they're like, no, you should stay. You do have things you need to take care of. And it's a weird thing to deal with sometimes. Like, there's days I literally forget about it. And then there's days that it won't let me.
Sure.
Like, I can go wash dishes and I have to lay down when I get done. Because apparently people with CP use 5 times more energy doing random tasks. Like, dude, doing stand-up will tire me out. I've actually been carrying a cane around. I don't need it so much today, but yeah, it's rough. And, man, I feel bad for, I hate to say things like this, but I feel bad for my mom.
Why?
Just, well, you like, I don't make enough to live on my own. And like, God bless her, my mom will give me rides to like the comedy shows because she does support what I do. I don't want her to come watch it because if anybody yells at me, my mom will get up and punch him in the face. No, but like I feel bad sometimes because it's like when you grow up, you move out, and your parents get to be old people and do married things and. I kind of hate, like, I kind of feel...
You don't want to be a burden?
I feel like one sometimes. And that's a terrible way to think. I don't wish anybody to think that way. But sometimes, yeah, I feel like a burden. And it can be tough sometimes, like, because there's just some things that I cannot do. And it's sometimes things are like simple things. And,
well...
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, I think of all the comics, like the newer comics, you easily are the most like I'm going to say loving, which is a weird word to say in comedy. Supportive, friendly, and you seem like you're in a very much better place than some of the things you're describing.
Right.
Now, since you started stand up. So I would, and in regards to being a burden, I think, I mean, it's maybe natural to think that way, but I think certain things are what they are. And also, there's nothing that I can think of more of taking control of your own life than going on stage and doing stand up.
Yeah.
Like, if you can do that, you can basically do anything. I mean, that's horrifying on so many levels to virtually any person you'd ever talk to.
I agree.
So you are in a place now and on a trajectory now where I'm not saying like I would never say of any of us that we're going to, blow up and be famous or anything, but the act of stand up itself that's not insignificant that you're doing that. And
no,
so I think it's awesome. And I think it opens up so much. It opens up your world when you start, like, especially you love it, right?
Most days.
Most days.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm glad you brought that up. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't have a lot going on in my life, unfortunately. Not being at work and things like that. Like, my body literally can't handle like manual labor. Like, the only thing I have in my life right now is stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And,
I got a lot of free time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, if it wasn't for this, I might not be here. And I don't mean that in the way it sounds. Like, I had just kind of given up on life,
Yeah.
And I was just like, happiness is not something you can find. And
I should laugh at that.
No.
I agree though, dude.
Yeah, but doing this, and it's like, and there's days I hate doing this because it's like, I'm no good at this.
Or you get nervous.
Or you get nervous. And the crazy thing is, I used to get so nervous. I'm like, I would go sign up at Comedy Zone and then go, what the fuck? I'm not going. And that would be like 8 seconds after I hit okay. And I'm like, why did I do this?
Right.
But now it's like, I don't have a fear of getting on stage anymore, which is unreal, because in a million years I would tell you, ain't no way in hell I'd do this. I dreaded doing it once or twice. Now I'm pushing 30 something, and
what's cool is that you've been on stage and made people laugh.
Right.
That's a joy and an experience that so many people who don't have your limitations will never experience.
Right. Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, and it blows my mind when.
And I'm not saying to diminish.
Oh no.
The bad shit you have to overcome, but that's true, dude.
Yeah.
There's some people who are too much of a pussy to ever do it.
Well, the cool thing is, like, because I like to be positive and go, because somebody will go, hey, I want to do stand-up. I'll go, you go do stand-up. But then I'll go, hold up. It's not easy and it's quite stressful. I'm not going to lie, because it is. It's hard work. I've heard a couple comedians tell me they get so nervous, and I'm like, you're kidding. You, of all people? But it happens. Like,
everybody gets nervous. Famous people get nervous.
They do.
I've seen enough documentaries and interviews, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not as bad. Like, you could be like, Chris, let's go do stand up outside. I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
before we're gonna do Littles tonight.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
It's gonna be rough.
Oh yeah.
No. Hopefully there's a big crowd.
Yeah.
But,
well, I heard they have good food. There's always that.
They do.
But yeah, and I mean, like, it's just, and I'm so back and forth with comedy because I'm not used to good things happening. So I'm like, when's this gonna go bad?
You want to pinch yourself sometimes?
Sometimes.
Dude, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming and like stand up isn't actually a thing. And like it seems surreal. Because what is it? It's just talking into a mic to people.
Well,
it's freaking weird, dude.
It's that Robin Williams quote that I would butcher if I tried.
No, try it.
It was basically, it's kind of like that one where he says, what is it, like, check on your happy friends because they're the ones that usually feel the worst.
Yeah.
Being depressed, I don't want, like, I'm the kind of person, and this is just how I was raised, Like we could go somewhere and I could get shot in the leg, and you could trip and fall and hurt your knee, and I'd be like, "Man, are you okay?" When I'm the one that's worse off. But I don't like people to feel the way I feel.
Right.
So that's why I go over the top and
Yeah.
try to make people laugh, and I just don't want people to feel bad because I know how that feels.
Right.
And like, am I the best at it? No. Am I the worst at it? I don't believe so.
No.
No,
dude, you're funny.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just it's interesting. But I'll go up there and they'll go, "Chris, you killed," and I'm like, I ain't never doing this again. I'll see you tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
that's just my mindset.
How it is. That's how it is, dude.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like a cycle. It's like a process. It's never ending. Like I had a really rough weekend. I had some, I don't know, this girl drama kind of mess with me.
Not you.
No, dude. I don't mean to go down this road, but this girl made me feel bad. And
That sucks.
yeah, but anyway. But it was like, and I went to work on Monday. And I was like, dude, I feel like shit. Like, I do not want to do anything. Not depression totally, but just like, you have those days like that. It's one of the reasons I like to put this out on Monday, because it's like a Monday pick me up, hopefully, for anybody who cares to listen. But like,
Yeah.
there's days where you just like are spinning your wheels. And I think that's what it is. I think you're not moving forward. And then like the longer you stay in bed, the longer you just don't do anything, the worse it gets. And then my day started to kind of brighten up when I got to, I did a podcast interview with Hayden yesterday.
Right.
And then went to Coffee Underground. Didn't even have material prepared.
How'd it go?
Great.
Yeah, they've been real good the last
went
few
great.
weeks.
Oh, yeah. And they were forgiving. I don't know how funny any of it was. I just riffed on a couple of things that happened to me. And that was insignificant, but just getting on stage and being around people, and like I was like, okay,
It's
today
weird.
was night and day different. It balances me. And this may not be the same for everybody. Maybe you have to have like a creative wiring or whatever. But like for other people, maybe working out is their thing, and they don't feel themselves until they get their morning run in or they get their lift in. For me and hopefully, like I think for you too, like
100%.
yeah. Does it
'Cause
help your depression? And
Well, there'll be days like if I'm not feeling it, I won't go because I don't believe in going and phoning it, half-assing, phoning it in. But then there'll be days where I'll be like, because right now I'm on a writer's block. I think I've wrote 2 jokes in a month. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get past that. But I'll write something down and go, this is funny. I want to go do this. It's Tuesday and it's like, it's 4 a.m. There's got to be somewhere I go tell this joke. Right. And because there's been times where I go out, like, what was it? It was one of my recent outings, and I'm just like, it sucks. And everybody's like, Chris, that was awesome. And I'm like, really? And that's the cool part. Like, and sometimes I'm happy if somebody just comes up and goes, hey, man, I like that, especially if I don't know them. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel good when people I do know do it. Because it's like the thing is about other comedians, what I realized at first is most of them aren't really giving you 110% because they're thinking about what they're going to be doing or whatever.
100. Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's what's hard about a comic room is
if you can make a comedian laugh, you're good.
Are like thinking about what am I going to say? It's very selfish in a way. It's inevitable. I think that,
Well,
I'm more worried about my shit, especially at Comedy Zone.
Oh, boy, that's bright. That's the thing. I got hit with the lights the other week because they had Stan Stanley, which he's a funny dude. Mm-hmm. I like Mr. Stan. He's very nice. They had the lights jacked up to 100. Like, it was like, fuck, the sun is 3 feet away. Yeah. And all I could see was a big white blur. Mm-hmm. How am I supposed to see this?
Right.
And then they play me off. Jalen didn't even give me a song I could karaoke. But yeah, and it's just, but it's such an interesting thing doing comedy. Like, I'm not supposed to be here doing this, and now it's like,
and now you're a bright light that people are like wondering about.
I hope so. I hope so. At least, at least new bulb change light. At least,
No, I think at the very least, I think the worst reaction could be like, okay, like your grandma, like you're not going to do good. They might think, like I have people in my life that I'm sure are like, David's a freaking idiot, but I don't care anymore. But they might think, okay, well, that could be cringy. Maybe he's delusional. Maybe Chris is delusional.
Right.
Maybe this is all fucking nuts. But I kind of wish I had something like that where I had as much fun doing something that crazy. A lot of people don't have anything.
Yeah, well, this is so interesting.
Bill Burr told, really quick.
No, go ahead.
Bill Burr told a story, and I listened to this on YouTube. The title of the video is "You Never Lose When You're Chasing a Dream," and
I saw that.
You saw that, yeah.
Or I saw that quote rather.
Mm-hmm. And the story he tells, Bill Burr is saying he's talking about when he was in New York and he was not established yet as a comic. He was doing mics and maybe random booked gigs, I think, at this point. And he said he was dating a girl at the time, and he got home and he was doing this little dance in the kitchen. And he was excited because he had gone through this period where he wasn't coming up with new jokes. And he was like, oh, I got this new little bit and it's working. And he had just finished a gig where he made $8. And his girlfriend was laughing. And then she kind of had a sad look on her face. He said, what's wrong? And she said, I wish I had a job where I only got paid $8 and I came home and have the look on your face that you have right now. And he was like, that's what it is, That's like,
I get that.
Yeah. And not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people understand it because like you gotta be crazy enough to do all this dog shit. And and I don't want to stop.
No, I've made $12 doing stand up.
Hell yeah! Where was that at?
Well, I count the $2 for that 100 for 100 Comedy Zone thing because they go, here's $2, and I'm like,
hell yeah,
I'm
dude.
out
For real.
I
bro.
just got paid. Yeah, man, it's such an interesting thing. And the only thing that I ever wanted out of this was to be like, I'm a comedian. And it's cool because somebody was like, he's a comedian. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because when I first met everybody, I didn't think I fit in. I felt like I was just.
We're all misfits.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I've learned. Like, it's like, wow. All these people have horrible things happen to them, and I think that is and there's probably a few that hasn't, and
I haven't had that much bad shit happen to me.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
But
and
it's a psychological
right,
thing,
but
yeah.
something's happened. You talk about something. Not all of these are just jokes you write because they're funny. These true stories. That's what I really enjoy.
Repression shit, but yeah,
right. And I mean, especially like I know some comedians have had some real bad things happen to them.
Totally.
And the fact that they can get up and kind of just bare their soul in front of an audience and try to find humor in it, something that probably doesn't make them laugh at all, then I think that's great. That's kind of like my cerebral palsy. I'll joke about that forever. And I've had people go, well, how do you do that? You shouldn't do that. It's like, why not? People have been laughing at me about it since I was a kid. I might as well turn it into something positive. Sure. And it's interesting because, like, if you went and told cerebral palsy jokes, that would be mean, right? Yeah, totally. If I do it, it's okay. So it's like, hey, because I did it at Coffee Underground the other week, and I'm like, I've got cerebral palsy, and everybody goes, oh. And I said, no, it's okay. We're at a comedy show. This is okay. Yeah. This is your one time where it's cool to laugh at the handicapped guy. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. You know what I mean? This will not be okay tomorrow.
Don't waste it.
Yeah, don't waste it.
Laugh at my hand.
I'll do that tonight. Yeah, I'll do it.
Hell yeah, dude. I like it.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting thing. Never in my life would I even think I'd be doing this. But my love of holding microphones, I guess that's what it does. Yeah. And hell, if like I said, if one random person comes up, or even another comedian, especially another comedian, if they go, I like that, then I'll never bomb ever. Now when they start throwing beer bottles at me, yeah, I'm out.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. You got to hit me first, motherfucker.
Unless you're the only comedian in the universe who's never bombed, you will bomb.
Oh, I know you will.
But
it's
bombing's therapeutic too.
It's perspective. Well, like for example,
It helps reassess yourself because something wasn't right. If you bomb, chances are
well, when
the audience sensed something in you that needed to be corrected. Maybe
true.
Whether it's arrogance, whether it's meanness, bad intent, lack of confidence, insecurity. I don't know.
It's hard. Like sometimes it's like, man, I don't see what you people find funny. Because there's some that they don't have it. But like, for example, at the radio room one night, I was like, oh, we got 2 microphones. Do they both work? Mm-hmm. Adam goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I got an idea. I was like, I got to go tell a shitty joke, or at least make it bad enough to bomb. And I didn't even have to. I told one of my jokes, and it wouldn't have hit nothing. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. So I dropped the microphone, go get the other one, tell the same joke in the other one, then they laugh.
Yeah.
And that cracks me up more than anything.
Yeah, that's a funny little angle.
Yeah.
Like the microphone was the
Yeah. Obviously, this one sounds better than this one. Right. Yeah, and I think I think things like that are funny to me. So if you can make it work, make it work. Nothing's perfect. Like I told a friend of mine, he's the old fellow at the bar that wanted to do stand up. He did pretty well. He was in front of his friends. I don't think he could have lost, and he did good. And the second time, he did okay, not as good. And I told him, I said, bud, you're gonna have nights where you just are awful. Yeah. And I said, it has nothing to do with you. It's just some days people ain't feeling it. And it's just, that's the weird thing about comedy, though. Like, somebody doesn't like people who swear. Some people don't care for clean comedy. Some people don't like observational. Some people like one-liners. Yeah. And then you go to an open mic and you get all that.
Yeah. I think authenticity is a big factor, too.
Right.
If you're authentic in the moment, it's hard to bomb.
I agree.
Because they feel like you're really talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like making your friend laugh.
Yeah.
If they can tell it's contrived material or things like that. The great comedians, you can't tell the difference, you know? Mm-hmm. Like the materials, like they like slide. And then it's like, oh, damn it, you bastard, you got me. And then you...
Yeah. Well, like, and I think sometimes the more awkward or uncomfortable you feel, the better your things can be.
Really? I think it's
like Mitch Hedberg. He's probably the most he was probably the most uncomfortable looking comedian at all times. Mm-hmm. He would do sets facing the other way, or with his eyes closed.
He would bomb a fair amount too.
Huh?
He would bomb.
He would.
Lot. If people didn't know who he was or know what to make of his act, he would bomb.
Well, when he did his I guess the unedited Comedy Central special, his new stuff just tanked.
Really?
It was funny, but it was just not. It just wasn't resonating with anybody. And then he goes, "I'm gonna do some old shit," and he started telling jokes, and people were laughing. And he goes, "Old shit's better than my new shit. We're gonna have to edit the fuck out of this." And I don't know if they did, but it just, I've seen some comedians like do amazing, do the same set at a different place. A few days later, bomb.
Yeah, me too.
And vice versa. It's what's in the air, You're not going to win them all.
Yeah.
But the fun thing is, and I don't even care if I bomb, because it's just like, fuck, I heard David laugh, or I heard Adam laugh, or,
right,
you know what I mean? So I could care less. Like, cool. And it's practice.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I'm probably going to eat shit at Doolittle's.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, see? Now we're not shitting alone.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
Good.
Exactly. It's group therapy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock. Doolittle starts at 7, but we can get there a little after.
Okay.
What other questions? What's the biggest dumpster fire story of your life?
I call that sex. Biggest dumpster fire story of my life. I don't know. You want to hear like an embarrassing story?
Sure. Yes.
You want to hear a story I've never told another living soul?
Sure. I think.
Cool. You think? Okay. I don't even want to tell this, but I will because we're on your podcast. Okay. You're a man, right? Yep.
Oh God, yeah.
It's okay. What do men do in their pubescent years?
They masturbate.
They masturbate furiously. Right.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how I got that scar right here. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so anyway, I had acquired this VHS tape. That's what DVDs, used to be.
DVDs are even obsolete.
Oh yeah, Blu-ray. 4K. I'm old. Anyway, VCR. So, and you had those tapes, the gold label tapes. Those were the high quality prawn tapes. We'll call them that. And I was like, there's nobody home. It's go time, right? So I put in the mouthpiece and my sweatbands. No, that's not actually true. Anyway, I put the tape in the VCR, and I lock the door, and it's go time, right? And I'll leave the details out. I'm not gonna tell you that I was Captain Morgan on the entertainment center. No, so I'm just doing my thing. I don't even have the nerve to tell this story on stage, but anyway, I was doing my thing. And have you ever been caught doing that? Honestly. We're grown.
No. I think one time my mom might have seen me, but she acted like she didn't.
You ever been caught by the Greenville County Police?
No.
I have.
That was that time?
Yeah.
What were the cops doing in the house?
See, there's your podcast clip right there. No, okay, here's the crazy story. I thought the door was locked, right? But I didn't click it in. Right? Door comes open wide. Uncle comes running in the room. Dives in the closet. And I'm sitting here like, what? Okay. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm doing something here, firing off knuckle children or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
And so anyway, he dives in the closet. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I just see him grab a blanket, throw it over him. And this has to be the thinnest mini blanket. I mean, he literally was stuck like this. He looked like a jizz tissue. He was stuck like this. You asked. So anyway, and two cops come walking in my room. And here I am.
You didn't quick cover yourself?
No, I put it away, but this one was pretty epic, right? Like you could, you can't hide this bad boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got a pretty big boner.
yeah. I mean, 3 inches is 3 inches in a pair of Hanes, bro. So anyway, and it's not going down, right? So I got my drink on it, whatever, and no. And I'm like, and the cop's like, "Excuse me, sir. We were looking for somebody." And I'm like, do you think I would be here right now if they were here? Because here's the funny thing. And they're like, "Sir, we think somebody ran in here." And I'm like, there's a lady getting that's what you hear. Boom, 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 boom. The tape didn't stop.
The tape didn't stop, so the porno is still going.
So you hear, "Put it in my hair." And the lady's talking to me, and I'm just like this. And obviously the one cop's like, "Oh, I know what he's doing. You have a good day."
And then they left?
They did. But before they left, they took their flashlight and looked in the closet. My uncle's got to be like 260. It would literally be like me throwing a T-shirt over your face. You can see him. He literally looked like this.
Just frozen.
Yeah. And they go. And I think it was so awkward that they left.
They didn't see him?
They saw him. I saw him. The blankets, it was like this thin.
Yeah.
But apparently my uncle had a warrant. And his dumbass ran home from the cops. Don't ask me why. We've never discussed this. I've never told anybody this. My mama don't know. Nobody knows. But I got my uncle out of a warrant and probable jail time because I was masturbating.
Hell yeah. That's a good PSA for masturbation.
Now I have carpal tunnel.
And now I got carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there you go.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a good story.
I don't have time to tell that story on stage.
That's not. You could chop that down and tell it on stage. It could be good. You know, Doolittles, you get extra time. Doolittles, you get up to 8 or 10 minutes.
What am I going to do for 8 to 10 minutes?
Oh, I don't know. You can do less if you want.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be good.
I think it'll be fun.
One more question.
Sure.
Best piece of advice you've ever received?
For comedy?
Anything.
Well, I'll give you the comedy one, and
That'd be fine. Yeah.
the best advice, and I can tell you who gave it to me. David Zasloff.
Okay.
I love David Zasloff.
Yeah.
Because I had gotten to the point where like I was on the whole kick of like, hey, if they don't like it, fuck them. Well, not to be mean, but that was just my outlook on things.
Uh-huh.
And he just looked at me. He goes, no. He said, just have fun. Have a good time. As long as you're having a good time. That's the best advice I've got.
Just have fun.
Because just have fun. Because if he didn't tell me that, I probably wouldn't have kept coming back. Because I got to meet you and all these other people, and now I've got friends, which is weird. Like I've got so many friends that do comedy, and I'm friends with so many comedians I don't even know. I can't get them booked. I don't know why they're adding me on Facebook. I can't get myself booked unless it's at Greenville County.
Oh, please. You've been doing it how many months?
5.
June? Wait, July, August, September. That's 3 and a few.
3 and a few.
Almost 4.
I tell the ladies that all the time. 3 and a few. That's
nobody's in a hurry.
No.
Shouldn't be.
But no, and I've met all these people, and it's fun to me.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I'm doing something that not everybody can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. Not everybody can be a comedian. Can you be funny? Yes. Can you be funny to your friends you know? Absolutely. Can you make all these people over here laugh that you've never seen before? Maybe not. Mm-hmm. We can't even do it every time.
No.
But, yeah, that's probably the best advice I've gotten as far as comedy.
Yeah.
Also, lock the fucking door. Wait till it goes cling.
Lock the door if you're going to whack it.
Yeah, then my uncle would have been in prison.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah. So there's your story.
I love it, man. Well, dude, we can wrap it up here because we got to run to Doolittle's. But before we go, promote your social media, everything. Where can people find you?
Yes. I actually have a website. Even if I'm not a comedian, Google domains don't got a problem with it as long as I got $12 a year. ChrisWilsonComedy.com.
Hell yeah.
You can find my Facebook on there, my YouTube, at Chris Wilson Comedy on Instagram and all that stuff. So that's
I'll link all that in the description for the podcast on YouTube and all that stuff. So yeah, follow this guy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Hilarious.
This was fun. I want to come back.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not even done.
Hell yeah. I got to get through the first round of all the comics. We got some more episodes coming up. But,
right on.
Hell yeah, dude. For sure. This was fun. All right, man. Well, until next time.
See you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Adam.
See ya.